Here I am, here I stand. Lord, my life is in your hands. And Lord, I'm longing to see your desire in me. And I give myself away. And I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. Oh, I give myself away so you can use me. Here I am. Good morning, everybody. Here I stand. Lord, my life is in your hands. And Lord, I'm longing to see your desire living in me. And I give myself away. Good morning, Queen. How you doing? Oh, Lord. And I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away, oh God, and I give myself away so you can use me. And Lord, I'm available to you. My will I give to you, and I'll do what you say to use me, Lord, to show someone the way and enable me to say, my storage is empty, and I am available to you. Good morning, everybody. Top of the morning, and happy Sunday to you. And today we're going to be talking about this idea, and that's the idea of making sure that you avoid doing side deals. One of the reasons, first of all, let me say hello to some of you all. Good morning, Ashley. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And Renaud, I hope you're having a great day as well. And can't match, can't match your L. God bless you. Good morning, Patricia. How you doing, dear? I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. And good morning, Brother Lawrence. Top of the morning to you, brother. We need to get together while I'm still down here. Good morning, Fetty. And good morning, Sundown. And good morning, Berlin. Good morning to all of you all listening here. Good morning, Sammy. How are you, dear? And good morning to you in Germany as well, the Alpha and Omega in Germany. Good morning to you as well. So let's talk about the subject today, and that's the idea of avoiding side deals. One of the reasons why people are underachievers and don't reach our goals, one of the problems with underachievers is that underachievers have a tendency to make a deal and then don't want to stick to it. So you'll spend your time trying to figure out how to get out of something as opposed to spending your time trying to figure out how to just keep the commitment that you made. This is a serious issue with people. And this is why people have not just money problems, but this is why people have problems with being effective. This is why people have problems with being consistently successful in anything it is that you do. Why? It's because I know I signed up for this, and I know that I want this to happen. However, I don't really want to keep the commitment that I made, the initial commitment, and so I want the result of it, but I don't want to put in the work that brings the result about. This is a serious problem, particularly for like church people that go back and forth to church. The way that people have been taught in church, it's been such an entitled attitude that's been taught because we've been taught some stuff that just ain't true. We've been taught it's like God is some type of like some kind of genie in a bottle or something, and just rub them and get what you want without no commitment. So it's like I want this and I want that, and I want the best fruit that I can possibly get in my life, but I don't want to put in the effort that's necessary for that. I don't want to stick to what it was that I said I was going to do. So when I meet people and they say, Brother Rick, you kind of crass sometimes with the way that you talk to folk. And man, that's kind of cold. That's kind of cold the way you be talking to people. I'm like, hey, well, no, what's cold is the fact that you say you're gonna do something, and then you start doing other stuff, and then you expect us to be able to get along with each other. And I'm like, ain't nothing happening. Why? Because if I tell you something, I'm just gonna do it, and that's it. It ain't no 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ways about it. It just is what it is. Or else I'm just not going to do it. I just tell you that I'm not going to do it because no, the answer to that is no. And now we can get along with each other because, we don't have no fake expectations of one another. Are you listening to me? So let me give you 3 examples of people doing side deals. The first one is with King Saul. Saul is the king of Israel. And you can look this up. I'm not going to read scriptures today. I'm just going to give you some ideas. And by the way, I did make 61 today, all of you guys. I did make 61. So praise God for making it another year. So today, February 12th, Brother Ricky made 61 years old. And what a blessing that is. I got so many dead homies that grew up on the south side of Chicago. And I got so many friends who left here, in my opinion, before our time because we didn't take care of our health and just, and so it ain't nothing but grace and mercy, So I'm not, tripping. I got enough sense to know that the reason that I'm here is because God has had mercy on me. So I just want to thank God for his mercy today. And I want to thank all of you all who sent birthday wishes that I've been talking to this weekend. Thank you. God bless you. And I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. So here's our first example of side deals. It's King Saul. King Saul, God tells Saul, he says, listen, I want you to go out and kill the Amalekites. This is in the 15th chapter of 1 Samuel. He said, go kill all Amalekites and don't leave nobody alive. No, don't leave none of their horses alive, none of their cattle alive. Kill everybody. Don't mess around. Don't play no games. All right. So Saul goes out and he kills everybody, but he brings back the best of the cattle. He brings back the king himself. The king's name is Agag. So when Saul shows up, Samuel say, what's happening, man? Saul said, man, it's all good. It's all gravy. He said, man, I've done the will of the Lord, man. He said, praise God, da, 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 da. So Samuel said, well, if you did what God said, why do I see hear these sheep in the background? Mm-hmm. He's saying a lowing of the cattle. And of all people, how you bring back the king, this heathen king, with these crazy folk that God told you to go murder, So this is what Saul said. And this is how people try to do side deals. So Saul said, listen, I just brought back the people. I just brought back the best of the stuff because the people wanted it, But what's really going on with Saul is that he's trying to cut a side deal with the king. Why is that? Because he's thinking, man, if I can have this king on my side, if I can have this king on my side, then I'd be able to fight some more of these enemies we got around us. But God told him to kill a king. Now listen, why in the world would you want to have a little king on your side when you can have the King of Kings on your side? Are you listening to me? Why in the world would you have a little king on your side? And for you all that's listening on Instagram here, if you want to come on over to Rick, the Wealth Coach on YouTube, if you want to make a comment or something, you can make it here because I can allow your comments in and out. So if you want to do that, that's cool. So here is Saul. He's making a deal with a little king, a midget king, a human being, a heathen, somebody he don't even need. And he don't even need this cat, but he think he needs this cat. So he's trying to make a side deal with this dude. And what he doing is he cutting himself out from the original deal that he made with God. And I'm telling you all, stop cutting these side deals with little poo butt human beings that can't put cheese on a Whopper. And then Xing God out the game plan because you think you need the human being who you don't need, and then you cut down God who you do need. Are you digging what I'm saying? I'm talking this morning about side deals. And what I'm saying is that they always cost you. They always cost you. It never turns out good. Every time you say, hey, God tell you, okay, do it this way. And then you said, okay, but I don't really trust you, God. So somebody else come along and they tell you, hey, do it this way. So you cut a side deal with them. They ain't got the sense they was born with. You actually taking their advice and you're actually doing what they said to do when God clearly told you what to do. Because when God talking to you, you read the Bible, you got the Spirit of God inside of you. You ain't no stranger to God. You know who God is. And when God is talking to you and he tell you something and it goes right along with the Bible, goes right along with the word, now okay, that's a good decision. All right, I can go ahead and do that. But what happens with people is that you'll hear straight from, how do you hear from God? You hear from God because you know the Bible. That's how you hear from God. You ain't got to be sitting around guessing what God said. Just read it, and then it's like point blank in black and white. Make this move and you'll be all right. bust this move and you're going to have trouble. So when you run into people, especially people who don't know nothing about the Bible, especially people who got their own ideas and their own witchcraft and their own ways of going about things, excuse me. When you meet people like that, why in the world would you take what God told you to do and put it on a back burner and then cut a deal with this cat? I mean, how much sense does that make? Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate that. How much sense does that make for you to be cutting a deal with the person who can't do nothing for you, and then just cutting the great God of heaven and earth all out the picture? Are you listening to me? Side deals is what we're talking about. So what ended up happening to Saul? He took a side deal. He brought the king in, and then Samuel said, "Hey man, we ain't having this." So Samuel went and he chopped the king up like Swiss cheese, the way Saul was supposed to do. And then he told Saul, he said, "Look, just like I just chopped him up," and then Saul grabbed the skirt of his garment, and Samuel pulled away from him, and he tore his garment. So Samuel told Saul, they said, "Just like you just tore my garment, God then tore the kingdom away from you." You know what? Some of you all, listen to me good. Some of you all are about to forfeit your kingdoms. Are you listening to me? God has put you in charge of some major things. He has given you grace, mercy, wisdom, understanding on how to handle your business. And some of you all, I'm warning you, I'm telling you right now, if you keep letting little human beings come in, ain't got nothing to do with nothing. They don't match up with the program you're doing or nothing. God ain't sent them or none of that. And then they come into your life, and then you say, well, and they start making suggestions to you, and you really think you need them, and you already got a game plan. You would have to abandon your game plan to kick it with them. Are you digging what I'm saying? So don't take no side deals today. So that's the first reason that people take side deals. Why? Because they insecure. They don't trust God. And when you don't trust God, you are an accident waiting to happen. Why? Because if God ain't good enough, where you gonna go? Listen, if God gave you some instructions to tell you what to do, that's the best instructions you can possibly follow. So if you don't get down with what God said, who you gonna run to? You heard that? Who can I run to? Man, who you gonna run to if you ain't talking to God? I mean, who got a better idea than God? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you digging what I'm saying? So Saul, he's insecure. And I got to ask you a question today. Are you insecure? Do you really have a serious trust issue? I'm talking about with God. I mean, do you really trust God? Or are you, when God say to do something and somebody else come along, you say, what the heck, let me try them out. I mean, what? Turn down God for a mere mortal? I just want y'all to think about that. Does that make any sense? Is that going to turn out good? What ended up happening to Saul? Saul lost his mind. That's what ended up happening to Saul. He was a madman for the rest of his days. Was walking around, couldn't put cheese on a Whopper, tripping, chasing David around, jealous as hell, and just chasing foolishness and chasing his own tail. And his mind was gone. Are you listening to me? We don't want that to happen to us. So this is my advice. So this is my suggestion to you this morning. And that's that don't let your insecurity cause you to make a side deal with people, a side deal with the devil, a side deal with little poo butt folk talking crazy, because God already told you what to do. So just get on out and get to doing it. Now, you're going to have some difficulties. You're going to run into some giants. You're going to have to deal with this. You're going to have to deal with that. But so what? So what? If God already gave you the game plan, just stick to it. Stick to your strategy. Stick to your game plan and deal with whatever it is you got to deal with. You ain't in trouble with nobody. If you're in trouble with people, you ain't in no trouble. That don't mean nothing. The question is whether or not you're in God's good graces or not. And that's all that matters about your life. Are you listening to me? So don't cut no side deals with folk trying to make them feel like because they the ones that's going to validate you, because they are not going to validate you. Are you listening to me? You're going to be standing in front of Jesus Christ on Judgment Day, butt naked. You don't need no validation from nobody. You don't need no validation from nobody right now if their validation don't add up to the Bible, if it don't add up to the scriptures, if it don't add up to what God told you to do. So just get to work. And no side deals based on insecurity. All right. So that's the first example. A second example is when we got a couple examples here, but sometimes people do side deals because they just straight up greedy. Okay. So and look this up, because I'm not going to read it because I just want to because I'm getting ready to go to church. So look this up in Acts, the book of Acts, the 5th chapter. We have Ananias and we have Sapphira, and so they're doing a real estate deal. So Peter told everybody agreed. That's what everybody agreed to. We're going to sell our properties and we're just going to take all the money. We're just going to throw it in the pot. Why? Because we just starting to teach everybody about the gospel. We just starting to teach everybody about who Jesus is. We just starting to teach everybody about this new way of living, this new way of living. Because in the old way of living, if you hated me, I hated you. If you tried to kill me, I tried to kill you. And it was just tit for tat, the old way of living. But now Jesus came with a new law. And he's like, I'm telling you to love your enemies and pray for them to despitefully use you. So this is brand new. All right. This is brand new in the book of Acts, this whole way of living. And now Jesus is like, okay, and I'm gonna give you my spirit so you can actually live right too. On top of all of that, and now the whole world will be you'll learn how to treat each other and stop coming at one another and trying to kill each other and hating one another and being envious of one another and all the petty stuff y'all was doing before I came. I came to set the captive free. So that's Jesus said that. So he said, listen. So when all the brothers and sisters got together earlier, it's like, look, we're just gonna do some real estate deals, okay? We're gonna take all the land, all the property we sell, and just throw it in the pot. All right. And make sure that everybody eat, make sure that everybody got money, make sure everybody's living good, make sure it was just a bundle of love going on where nobody was coveting money or nothing. This is in the book of Acts. All right. So we're in the 5th chapter now, but we got 2 people who they ain't really down with the deal. Now they say they down with the deal, but they ain't really down with the deal. Why? How do we know? Because they tried to make a side deal. With who? They make a side deal with each other. That's a husband and a wife. His name is Ananias. Her name is Sapphira. So they said, hey, so they started talking. They in the crib having this. They in the crib plotting. See, the thing about side deals. Listen to me good. Side deals are not plans. Side deals are plots. Okay, it's a big difference between plotting and planning. When you're planning something, that's vital, imperative, necessary for running kingdoms. It's necessary for running households. It's necessary for running ministries. It's necessary for running anything that's worth running. You got a plan. All right. You got to strategize. But plotting is different because plotting means you're just an evil devil and you're sitting around trying to bring about what? Somebody else's demise. And you're trying to cause somebody what? Some harm. Are you digging what I'm saying? That's what plotting is. So they at the crib, they're not planning, they plotting. I'm talking about Ananias and Sapphira. Are you digging what I'm saying? Good morning, Brother Robert. God bless you, man. I appreciate you. So they plotting, they not planning. So at the crib, they say, so check it out. We're gonna sell our property. But we ain't about to throw all this money in the pot. You down with that, baby? She like, yeah, baby, I'm down with that. I'm down with that old low down Ananias. He said, good, a low down Sapphira. Let's be low down together. so how low can you go? All the way to the floor. So they real low down. So they like, so he's like, listen, we ain't about to put all our money in that pot. I mean, that's crazy. Now he could have just told Peter and them, listen, I'm not selling my crib and giving y'all all my money, man. All right. I know what everybody else is doing and all that sort of thing, but I just can't get out like that. Now he could have said that because it was his money. He could have did what he wanted to do with it. But people do this all the time. And I'm telling you, and not just in business, but in life, because life is business. Are you digging what I'm saying? And people are not committed to processes, but they want to look like they're committed to the process with everybody else. So they don't. So instead of just saying I'm not in, the person will say I'm in, but really they're gonna cut a side deal. They got a side deal in the back of their mind that I'm not doing this. My heart is not in this. And I want to say this to you. If your heart is not in what you're doing, stop doing it. Now, what a useless waste of time to wake up in the morning and doing things that you ain't even convicted about. I mean, just stop. Alter your course, because what you're going to be is you're going to be a side deal specialist. Because everybody who does things that they really don't want to do and their heart really ain't in it, you spend most of your time trying to figure out how to get out of it. That's way too much energy to be spending. Why should you spend your time plotting when you can be spending your time planning? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Ananias and Sapphira, they spending too much time trying to come up with a game plan to be what? Nickel slick. Why don't you just do what it is that you really want to do? Why don't you be involved in things that you really want to be involved in and then give 100% of your energy into making sure that it happens? Why? Because if you really want to be involved in something and you really want to do it, when opposition comes, it don't matter to you. Why? Because you want to do it so much. It's so important to you. You enjoy it so much. It's your thing. You dig? It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Hey, listen, do your thing. All right. Don't be doing things that you don't want to do. Why? Because you're going to end up cutting some side deals. That's what's going to end up happening because you don't really want to be there. It ain't nothing like being around somebody who really don't want to be around you. They really low down. Listen, you're talking about snakes, people who really don't want to be around you. That's why when you're running businesses and companies, and you start getting people who are quitting. I'm like, man, you should have fired them way before they quit. I say you can see that. You can see the reluctance inside of them when they was working for you, the angst inside of them while they working for you. Why are you putting up with that nonsense? Because that person is prone to be doing side deals. Are you listening to me? They prone. They looking right at you. You can tell they hate you. They work with you. You pay them a check, and they ain't got good sense. How much sense does that make? Why in the world would you subject yourself to that? I know I'm talking directly to you today because I'm talking about how kingdoms come crumbling down. They come crumbling down because of side deals. So don't get involved in that. Make sure if you're doing anything, make sure that you're doing it because you really want to do it. And then make sure if you have anybody around you, that they're around you because they really, really want to be around you. And that's it. And just live a simple life. That means people going to come and go, come and go, come and go. And that's all right. You dig what I'm saying? So here's Ananias and Sapphira. And they make this side deal at the crib that they're going to hold on to some of this money. I don't know how much it was. If it was 250,000, they just going to keep 200,000. So they get in front of Peter, and here come old perpetrating Ananias. He comes walking in the room. It's time to pay up. Are you listening to me? So he says, so Pete, like, what's happening, Ananias? He's like, everything cool, Pete? What's happening with you? He's like, you know what's happening with me? We over here chopping this money up. Okay. Are you down for the cause or what? So Ananias, I'm stomped down like 4 flat tires, man. Pete say, all right, let's set that money out there. And Ananias, I ain't play it. Go, bam, threw it into the pot. Pete like, man, what's up, Ananias? This look a little short. Ananias like, what? Short. Now, what Ananias don't understand is this, and this is what people who do side deals don't understand. I want you to understand this when you come around, especially when you come around people who are progressive, when you come around people who love God, when you come around people that's got some sense, some common sense, and some spiritual sense. When you come around people and you really are reluctant, we can sense that. All right. We like, man, what's up with that? You just don't, it's just something just ain't right, player. Your countenance and stuff, you smiling and all that sort of thing, but I'm not feeling it, And so you can't come around people that's got some sense with them side deals, and we don't peep your stilo. You dig what I'm saying? So he told Peter's peeping his stilo. He like, Cynthia flossing, peeping your stilo. He like, man, I'm peeping your stilo. Ananias, I know you want some nonsense. So come on, dog. Is this all the money for real? Ananias like straight up no chasing. That's all the paper, baby. Pete say, I'm gonna give you one more chance, man. Give you one more chance because it seem a little short right here. What's up? Ananias say, man, that's all the money, Pete. All the money. On my mama. That's what all these little young thugs say. On my mama, right? So Pete said, I tell you what, man, drop dead. Okay? Coming up in here playing games, trying to cut a side deal. And what happened? Ananias went poof, straight up. 3 minutes later, how do I say goodbye to what they singing funeral songs? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I've had some good days. All the funeral songs they sing. Precious Lord. They singing at Ananias' funeral, right? Because he come up in there trying them side deals. And he dropped dead. Now that's bad enough. We have a one funeral. Supposed to be in here rejoicing today. And here come this side deal, dude. And now we having a funeral. He messing up the flow up in this piece. You dig what I'm saying? So now he out the picture. So then here come his wife. Here she come, skipping up to the stage. And Pete, like, she don't know what's going on, right? Because they done already took Ananias' body and they done took him off the scene. So she don't know what's going on. So she show up and Pete like, hey, what's going on, Sapphira? She's like, oh, what's happening, Pete? He's like, you know what's happening? There's money. That's what's happening. Did you bring, the money I brought in here and threw into the pot? Is that all the paper, baby? Oh yeah, Pete. No doubt about it. Okay, yeah, we paid it. We paid it. We paid it. We paid it all. Like Jesus paid it all. Jesus paid it all. We paid it all too, Pete. Peter like, yeah, you paid it all, right? Yeah, Pete, we paid it all. We paid it all. Just like Jesus paid it all, we paid it all too. That's every dollar, no doubt. Every penny, man. Every penny, Pete. Hey, the books is balanced, Pete. Check it out. The books are balanced. So Pete, like, the book's balanced, right? Yeah, that's it. So they trying to do a side deal though. So Pete said, I'm gonna give you one more chance, Sapphira. Are you legit? All right, are you straight up? Is this the real deal? No doubt, Pete. It's the boom. So she can get the rest of that mess out. Bam, drop dead, just like her husband did. Now they having 2 funerals. Not a funeral singer. He got to figure out some more funeral songs. He like, what? You having another funeral already today? I wasn't ready for that, man. Let me reach into my cupboard right here. Let me see. Though the storms keep on raging. That's a good funeral song, ain't it? They say if you the funeral singer getting paid over here. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Why? Because Ananias and Sapphira, they doing what? Side deals. I got a question for you. Are you a side dealist? Man, I'm asking you today, would you please cut it out? Would you just only get involved in stuff that you want to be in? Are you digging what I'm saying? Stop laughing, Sammy. But that is funny, that funeral singer dude. All right, I got one more side deal for you. If it lets the Holy Ghost talk any longer. So that's because of greed. I'm amazed at people. I'm amazed at how a person would be greedy over money. Excuse me. I want y'all to understand this. Excuse me a second. I want y'all to understand this. People are greedy over money, and you ain't gonna never even get the money. All right. You're gonna end up dying over some money you was greedy over, and you ain't gonna never even get the money. That's the bad part about it. You're just gonna go to hell wishing. Hey, listen to me. That's like Brother Bland. He used to have us cracking up, my old pastor. He said, all you old dudes around here trying to get some young girls. He said, let me tell you something, I'm just gonna go to hell wishing. He had me cracking up. He was funny. So this thing about money is that when you covet money, you'll never get it because you're greedy. And greedy people, the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. And a good man leaves a heritage to his children's children. Are you listening to me? A good man leaves a heritage to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. So when you're greedy over money, all you do is just set up the righteous brother and sister to get your money. That's why when I wake up in the morning, I'm concerned about one thing, all right? And that's doing right by people. And that's it. I mean, of course, loving God, but that's how you show God how much you love him, by doing right by people, and don't be trying to cut no side deals. You dig? I was selling a real estate property and this guy came in, his name is Jason. And Jason was like, so I sold the property for like $60,000. And Jason was like, but when I got in the house, I could see that I could sell it for $90,000, but I had never been in a house because I don't normally go in no houses normally, but it was kind of close to my crib. So I went in. So I looked at him and I can look, and Jason was like, hey man, you about to go up on the price, ain't you, Rick? I was like, nope. I said, I can look in your eyes and see what you're thinking, man. I said, the price is still exactly what I told you. I said, it's my fault I didn't come and look at this house, not your fault. So I said, but you got to call me in the next 2 hours. I said, as long as you call me in the next 2 hours, the deal is still the same deal. So you know how people are with these real estate deals. A 2-story house, that's right. They tell you one story before you get in it. Then they tell you another story when you get in. That's a 2-story house. You dig what I'm saying? Side deals. So I hope you ain't one of them 2-story house salespeople, all right? So anyway, my man came. So I told him that, I ain't going to cheat you, man, because that's cheating. So you like, that ain't cheating, Rick. You didn't know that you could sell a house for more. So when you got inside, you just discovered something else, and man, hogwash. Okay. All right. All that is just justification for lying and cheating. I told the man one price, and that's the only price. And that's just it. You say, but you lost $30,000, Ricky. No, I did not lose $30,000. I sold a man a house for what I told him I'd sell it for. So the $30,000 that I would have cheated him out of, that's not my money. Are you listening to me? Because I don't cut side deals with folk. I'm like, look, I don't want what don't belong to me. Why? Because it's going to cost me way too much more down the road. Are you listening to me? I hope y'all paying attention. One of the reasons why you don't have money is because you covet money, because you're greedy. And when you're greedy, you do petty stuff. You do stuff and you don't understand the ramifications of that stuff, and how later on you're going to end up paying a much bigger price than the price that you paid turning down money. You ain't making no money until you turn down money. Are you listening to me? And I wasn't rich. I was doing good, making, 6 figures a year and all that sort of thing, selling properties and stuff. I wasn't rich. I didn't have millions. I wasn't living the way I live now. But you know what? You can never get to a status of having no real money unless you're honest with your little money, unless you're not trying to cheat people out your little money. Cut out these side deals. I'm just trying to encourage y'all. All right. Because I'm telling you how you reap what you sow in life. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So because I refused to take that man's money, just one example, because I refused to take his money, then I'm running to a real estate deal, and I call a lady and I said, hey, I see you got a house here. Are you selling it? Come to find out, she was a friend of mine. Her name is Jackie, and she's passed away now because she had cancer. So me and Jackie started talking, and she said, Ricky, the first time we talked, she said, I don't want to sell my house, Ricky. So because I don't covet money, I never tried to get Jackie to sell me a house because she said she didn't want to sell it. So I totally forgot about it. She called me back. And she said, because we started talking about other stuff once I found out she was a friend of mine. So we started talking about other stuff. So then she said, "Hey, Ricky, I want you to come get this house." I said, "No, I thought you wasn't selling it, Jackie." She said, "I changed my mind. All I want to do is focus on my health." I said, "Okay, if you're in." She said, "Come and get it, Ricky." All right, I already signed the papers. So I came and got the house. I ended up making $100,000 off of it. I let some of my friends involved and let them make money and all that too. But what's my point? See, I would have lost $100,000 if I took the $30,000. Are y'all listening to me? Because y'all don't know the difference between the price of things and what things cost. You always think that something costs. You're always looking at the price and the cost, the opposite of reality. The reality of that, the price is what you pay for stuff. The cost is what you lose out on if you don't pay the price. See, I paid the first price of making sure that I didn't cheat that man out of his $30,000. So it didn't cost me the $100,000 that it would have cost me. But when you covet money, you don't understand the difference between the price and the cost. It's the number one fundamental rule of finances: price and cost. And if you don't know those two different things, you'll never have no money, because you'll be focusing all the time on what you think something costs when it's really ain't nothing but the price you're supposed to pay. So they don't realize they should have just paid the price of throwing their money into the pot so that they wouldn't have to pay the cost of dropping dead. Are you listening to me? Man, I'm telling you right now, when you refuse to pay the price, the cost on the back end is amazingly bigger than the price you would have had to pay. It's like people, they pay me $155,000 to be in my inner circle, but they get back a tax return of $400,000 just because of the tax credits that they get for the money that they put up. So they really didn't pay me nothing. They really paid themselves to come and learn from me what to do. So if we kick it for a whole year, and then I teach them what to do, how to make money. So, but what it cost them though, is it's going to cost them the $400,000 that they would have gotten if they hadn't put the money up. That's why I have people. That's why they join my inner circle. That's just one reason why they join my inner circle. So when my friend Myron Golden, he has a day. You hang out with him for $350,000, and then he teach you a whole lot of stuff and so forth and so on. So you say, well, that's a lot of money to pay somebody. No, it cost you a lot of money on the back end that you would have earned if you didn't pay the money up front. So whenever somebody charges me something up front, I'm so glad that they got something I can pay for that'll make me so much better off. So I hurry up and get rid of the money. Why? Because I don't need no side deals. See, it's a side deal when you have an opportunity to pay some money that's going to make you a million times better off, and then you don't do it. So who'd you have a side deal with? You had a side deal with yourself, and you talked yourself out of what's supposed to happen to you. And side deals, they come quite often in your head. It ain't even another person involved. It's just you. And you're just sitting there, and then an opportunity comes up to you, and then you're like, man, let me see. The first inclination that you had was, man, let me jump on this and take care of this business, because it adds up to the Bible, everything. All the scriptures, got everything backing you up. You got the whole Bible behind you, backing you up. But you ignore all of that because why? Because you're so used to procrastinating. People who do side deals are like major chronic procrastinators. That's the problem with procrastination. All it does is open up the door for what? Side deals. Because something came to you and you had your opportunity to jump on top of it. And then you start talking yourself out of it. All the money you ain't got, you talked yourself out of it. Not just money, but joy, peace, all the stuff that's supposed to be happening in your life that ain't happening right now. It's because of you, not because of nobody else. And you have to take personal responsibility for that. I have to take personal responsibility for that, because people, listen to me, especially y'all church folk and stuff, y'all too passive. Y'all too reactionary. You're supposed to be creating stuff. You're not supposed to be reacting to what somebody else did. Are you listening to me? You're supposed to be a creator, not a reactor. You're supposed to be proactive, not reactive. What does proactive mean? I am professionally active. That's what proactive means. I am professionally active. Are you professionally active? Are you listening to me? Are you are you good at it? Are you active at a high level? Are you a pro at being active? That's what proactive means, that you're a pro at being active. You are on the ball. You are taking care of your business. Why? You're too busy moving forward to even give things a second, a third, and a fourth, and a fifth thought, because it's your culture. It's how you behave. Are you listening to me? When the man came into the place and he looked at me like I was going to cheat him, it was no chance that I was going to cheat him. Why? Because that's not my culture. My culture is I don't covet money. Why? Because I don't like side deals. Are you digging what I'm saying? I don't like little money blocking me from big money. Are you listening to me? I used to be broke, homeless, $50 in a hotel room. All right. You don't get rich from being dead broke without no family members having no money or nothing like that, unless you got the right kind of attitude, unless you got the right kind of temperament, unless you got the right kind of disposition, unless you what? Honest. Are you digging what I'm saying? And you don't covet money. Coveting money and being greedy is the worst thing you can possibly do for your life. You just damning yourself, and cursing all your family members because they are watching all that greedy stuff too, and all those little petty moves and all that sort of thing, and running around in circles and stuff, and trying to 75 ways to count $75 and all that sort of thing. Stop it, okay? Cut out the side deals. All right, we got one more, and y'all, you ready, baby? Okay. All right, we got to get in this lift in a second. We're about to go to church. I'm doing wonderful, and God bless you, Linda. That's a kind thing to say. So I got to get to church, y'all. Hey, you got to go to church on your birthday. You got to show up, go to church on your birthday and praise God. 61 today. Glory. Hallelujah. 61 today. All right. So here's my last thought. And that's people cut side deals because they like prestige. So number one, people cut side deals because they're insecure. Number two, people cut side deals because they just straight up greedy. And then number three, people cut side deals because they like the praise of people. And an example of this is in the book of Acts with Simon and Peter and John. So Peter and John, they praying for people, and the people getting saved and they getting the Holy Ghost. So my man Simon see this and he like, man, that's cold-blooded. He like, what the heck? I ain't never seen nothing like that. Now Simon is a sorcerer. He a voodoo type cat, witchcraft type dude, warlock type dude, and he always putting game on folk. What? And because he made a lot of money off of it. All right. So he was always bringing game and tricking nickel slick kind of cat. So he asked Peter and John. He said, man, let me. He say, man, how much is that gonna cost me? They was like, what? He said, how much is that gonna cost me, player? Let me, what? He said, let me break you off a piece of this Kit Kat bar. I want to be able to do the same thing. I want to lay hands on folk, and they get that Holy Ghost thing. That thing look like a great business right there, dog. What's it gonna cost me, man? What is it gonna cost me? So Peter and John, they said, hey man, let me tell you something, partner. He said, your money perish with you. He's like, what? He said, your money perish with you. He said, man, you thought you could buy the Holy Ghost with some money? Are you nuts? He said, man, we perceive that you're in the galls of bitterness. All right. Tell you what, man, you better be glad. Better be glad when you put that drop dead on you today, like my man Ananias and Sapphira. We're trying to cut some side deals to buy the Holy Ghost. Have you ever heard anything that retarded in your life? You're gonna buy the Holy Ghost? What the heck? So, but thank God Simon had enough sense to say this. He said, hey, man, pray for me, man. That don't none of that stuff y'all said happen to me, because I know I'm out of order over here trying to cut a side deal. I got to give it to Simon. I got to give it to him. He was a scoundrel, but he knew when to hold him and when to fold him. I got to give it to him. When they checked him, he was like, man, pray for me, bro. Pray for me. Pray for me, bro. I don't want to drop dead. Don't let none of that stuff come on me. All right. So side deals, don't cut them today. Just go ahead and do what you said you was going to do. Just stick to your doggone word. If it costs you some money, I mean, if you have to pay a little bit more money for something, it's okay because it didn't cost you nothing. It only costs you when you won't do it. It don't cost you when you do it, because you can never be a committed person, actually keep your word, and don't get rich. You're like, Ricky, I ain't rich. I keep my word all the time. I would ask myself that question. I was like, well, if I keep my word, why am I not rich? Okay. If I keep my word, why don't I have some money? If I don't keep my word, why ain't I making $1 million a year? If I keep my word, why am I not 5, 10, 20 times better off this year than I was last year or the previous year or the year before? Now, let me explain something to you. Here's another side deal, and I just got to tell you this before we go. We make side deals not to commit. All right? So this way we can say, I'm not no liar. I never committed to nothing. And we don't understand that the sins of omission, they worse than the sins of commission. Now, listen, this is why people live such mediocre lives. Why? It's because they say, well, you know what, man? Hey, Brother Rick, you ain't talking about me. I'm not a liar. I'm not no cheater. I'm not no thief. I don't steal from folk. I ain't sneaky. I ain't scandalous. I ain't manipulative. I'm like, yeah, but you ain't committed to nothing either. You're like, oh, that's cold, Brother Ricky. It's cold that you ain't committed to nothing. All right. Jesus, listen to what Jesus said in 25th chapter, Matthew. And we got to get out of here. Let me know, baby. I'm ready when you are. This is what Jesus said in the 25th chapter of Matthew. He said, um, they asked him a question and said, when was I hungry and you fed me? When was I naked and you clothed me? Or when was I sick or in prison and you visited me? He said, uh, he said, when you do it to the least of these, you done it also unto me. So what does that mean? He means that the most important things in life is what you don't omit. All right. And you can't get away with the fact that you just was a pretty good, pretty nice guy, a goody two shoes sister and all that. That don't mean nothing to God. What means something to God is, did you get up and feed somebody that was hungry, clothe somebody that was naked, or visit somebody that was sick and in prison? If you didn't do those things, God is like, you're in trouble with me. I don't care. Because you ain't doing, God is like, you ain't doing me no favor because you ain't shot nobody lately. You ain't doing me no favor because you ain't robbed nobody lately. When God is like, what you want, a cookie? All right. You're like, what are you doing? Not what you're not doing, but what are you doing? 2 minutes? 2 minutes, y'all. Lift a beat here. We got to get out of here. All right. So let's wrap that up. Don't hide in the fact that you just don't commit yourself to things and then say that you're an honest person, because a lack of commitment is dishonesty too. All right. The fact that you won't throw your hat, into the plate, and that you won't jump on in the game and stuff, that's because you don't want to put the work and the effort in to being able to do something that's going to make a difference in everybody's life. And if you don't do that, then that means that you're just as guilty as the people who doing the scandalous, manipulative, low down stuff. It's all the same result, same end, the same cost. All right. Because he told those people they was going to hell, all those people who ain't did nothing to help nobody. He said, you're going to hell because that's what I built it for. The lake of fire. I built it for you lazy folk that don't want to do no work. That's what God is saying to all of us. And we ain't none of us exempt. Ain't none of us made it. Ain't none of us arrived. Ain't nobody no better than nobody else. You dig? And we all got work to do. So get out today and feed somebody that's hungry. Get out today and clothe somebody that's naked. Get out today and visit somebody that's sick or in prison. Make those things your priorities today. Commit to it. And do you know what? No side deals. I love you all. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. Thank you all for your birthday wishes. Have a beautiful day. Be blessed in the city and be blessed in the field. And remember that Stellar is as Stellar does. Have a fantastic day. I love you all. God bless you. Be blessed. Go to church, y'all. Go to church.